Okay, guys, so we have we just did our meeting.
It was great.
Yeah, we just did our Sermon on the Mount meeting every Monday, 7:30. Twitch. It's on the Learning to Lose Twitch. You can, if you want to just jump in and
Congratulations,
be a part of that. Here, let me see the tripod real quick. You
This
can just
one?
pick it up and just hand it to me like
Hold,
it's a
please.
stick.
It's a stick.
So we're streaming
Sorry,
this
guys.
live on TikTok right now. So I'm gonna just try to keep this like out of the way. We have Aaron Goodman. Some of you may or may not know him. He's a good friend of mine. I grew up with. Billy, you want to say hi? Everyone,
Hey.
because I just want to make sure that you guys are.
Billy here.
And then,
Goody. Can you hear me?
yeah. And then we have Hilary, who's been on the podcast before. Her previous episode was called "Hurt People," and it was one of the favorites. Actually, my editor, Kaya. It was her favorite podcast that we've ever done. And she listens to all of them because that's her job, to find clips, to post. So, Billy, will you just do you want to kick it off with a kind of like a checking in on, you want to know something about either of these people?
Oh, yeah. So we've got someone here I don't know, but I can see that Pat knows very well. And I've heard some things and stuff, so I know a little bit about the person, but I've just met him tonight. He seems a little sad, and I can understand why, because I also went through a similar thing. It was a 2-year drawn-out hell ride.
Yeah.
And we have Hilary here, who is always lovely to see.
Thank you, Billy.
So I guess I'm gonna.
So stay like
So close?
Paul? Is it Paul?
just no further than a fist.
Aaron.
How about
Yeah,
that?
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. Just closer the better,
Yeah.
All right. So Aaron, you grew up here in Agoura?
I did. I grew up off of Lost Hills. I've known Pat since, T-Ball?
I mean, bro, the
Wow.
fucking...
There goes
Hold
the-
on a second. The fucking Rock.
Oh, The Rock. Your dad calls me the Rock Boy.
Or like because this fool got stuck. Dude, I swear, that must have... I don't know. Like, this guy was on the news. It was like a whole thing, dude. You almost died or what?
Yeah.
So what you want to do is keep your...
Yeah. So, all right.
So, I mean, you can move that around or whatever.
Is
that better?
He needs a
Way
pillow
better.
too,
Okay.
so he can lean back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I got one because
I'll
I'm
get you one. Here, tell them the story.
compact.
So when we lived off of Lost Hills, my family and I growing up, there was a really large kind of drainage, like concrete drainage that funnels the water through the hills when there's heavy rains. And the generation of kids before us had dug out underneath it a large enough space to where it was like basically like the local hangout where you would like sneak away and smoke cigarettes or smoke a joint or whatever, And one day we were down there hanging out, and some of my friends' older brothers were there as well. They started jumping on top of it to try and scare us. And what happened was the thing ended up breaking and coming down, but it's such a large piece of concrete. It was basically like having like a Volkswagen land on your stomach.
Wow.
So when that happened, I was pinned under there along with Kerry Garwood, John Travis, and Jake Downs. And what ended up happening was they were sitting far enough away to where they were able to wiggle out. I had to be the guy that was the furthest in. So I had to sit there for like 6 hours with this, I think it was like a little bit more than a metric ton of concrete, like on my stomach.
It was like not all of the pressure was on you, right? It would have squashed you like you.
No, it was I imagine a very good portion of it was.
Wow.
I was just extremely lucky with where I was sitting and how it landed. The fireman that saved me, he told me that if I was leaning forward like maybe a foot more, the thing would have literally taken my head off.
Wow.
So that's my first encounter.
How old were you then? Just approximately.
Sixth grade. sixth grade. So that would be like what?
I never know like how old.
I think we were like 11 or 12. I want to say.
I never knew how old I was. I just knew what grade I was.
Yeah, exactly. Sixth grade.
And I don't really
is when it
know.
happened.
I don't really know.
Did you get injuries from that?
No, I had.
Wow, that's a god shot.
Yeah, so like there was so much pressure that there was literally like an indentation in my stomach from where the corner where the concrete had landed for probably a week before like my body like kind of like went back to normal.
Wow.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
And were you like crying and freaking? Were you claustrophobic?
Oh yeah. No, I was freaking the fuck out. I was having panic attacks. There was a rattlesnake that came under there and almost got me while the firefighters were trying to get me out.
Holy shit.
And I actually passed out at one point before the firefighters showed up.
No, this shit was like all over the news.
And when I woke up, like the firefighters were all around me, and like I had like needles and tubes coming out of my arms and shit. And the firefighters were like, "What's the name of your horse?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Because we were like smoking cigs and joints and whatnot.
Huh.
So like what I think Mark and Jake Downs and Carrie and John Travis, they told him I was riding a horse, and I got bucked off the horse and fell in the hole, and then the rock fell on me as a way to just like not get in trouble for smoking cigs.
Right. For smoking.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, caught in a log.
And I was like, I don't have a fucking horse. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
He's like, oh my God, he's got brain damage.
Yeah. So
For smoking cigarettes. That was like what we did
Yeah,
in 6th, 7th grade.
that was his start.
That was the start. Well, that's the thing is that's the start, right? So
So I just want to I just like to get in people's heads. Like, so in that situation, do you think maybe I'm gonna die here? Or
I thought I was going to die.
you were pretty convinced?
And my parents, I remember them standing over there, and I was like screaming for them to help me. And like, no one could do shit.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to like lift the rock up, but they couldn't do it without putting more pressure of it like on my stomach.
Right.
So what they did was, the way they got me out was they used these.
Wait. Before they got you out, so could you hear and talk to people? You just couldn't move. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I could talk.
when your friends wiggled out, did you feel like, oh fuck, like I'm stuck here? I mean,
No, they tried to lift it up, and this thing weighed literally like 1 metric ton. So like 3 little 6th graders aren't going to be able to lift that shit up.
So wait, how did it fall on you again?
Jake Downs and Mark Halperin's older brother Jeff were crawling out. They jumped onto it and were like jumping on it to like scare us, and then it actually broke.
And then
they were like, "Oh fuck!" And then they just bounced.
you just were stuck under it.
Yeah.
they just ran away after that.
Well, they ran away because once we realized they were trying to help us get the rock up, but once we realized that we couldn't do it, they were like Garwood told, I think it was Garwood or Jake. They ran to the nearest house and just called the cops. And next thing you know, we got fucking.
So Carrie Garwood, the kid who he's talking about, played bass in my band Delusion with Jason Evigan,
Right.
singer-songwriter, incredible person, been on the podcast a bunch of times. We were in a band called Delusion, and Carrie was the bass player, and then I became the DJ keyboards. And Goodman lived right next to Carrie, and Goodman was where we would go to buy weed. Goodman you always had weed.
I did.
And you were flipping. I think Goodman was pushing probably the most weight out of most of the people that we knew, and he got raided.
Right.
The cops raided your house.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
In 6th grade, or this was later?
No, this is out of high school.
We're fast forwarding now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that event. I mean, look, that kind of a traumatizing event, I definitely think has an effect on a person. But whatever, you know.
Or what about when I got sent away?
Right.
So I was getting in
Yeah,
I was
see,
getting
these
in
guys.
I was getting in so much fucking trouble when I was a youngster that literally I got court ordered to go to this place in the middle of Utah.
Right, in Provo.
No, it's we actually drove by it, Pat, on our way to Zion. Remember, I pointed it out.
Huh.
They converted it.
Oh.
When we were going through Laverkin. Remember when we stopped at the grocery store and we're going up that one road? We drove past it.
Right. So they took you out of bed. or some crazy shit.
Yeah, no, well, the thing is that I was supposed to go to juvie for like a year and a half for a couple burglary charges, and yeah. Well, one of them was a robbery though, because the chick was actually home.
Hold on. I'm just realizing right at this moment that this is actually going to be a really good fucking podcast because Goodman's got some shit that he's been through. So hold on. What burglary charges are we talking?
We used to break into homes, steal money,
right,
jewelry, all that shit.
Okay, so because it's funny because Goodman, we both kind of have a similar story, but you went to a different middle school. Or wait.
No.
We went to the same middle school, same high school, but
I lived on the border of Calabasas and Agoura.
Yeah, so we weren't like super close growing up. Like you weren't like hanging out at my house as much as like Tim or Dane.
No, I've known Tim since Sunny Skies, like preschool.
Yeah,
days.
no, but we've all known each other. But like, look, the point I'm making is we didn't like hang
as much because I wasn't in close proximity.
Yeah,
to where
but we were doing the same shit.
Yeah,
but you were
100%.
doing it like times 2. So we would break into houses and be like, yo, here's like an ornament that we got just to prove we were in the house. This fool's going in the house is like actually trying to come up on money, like valuable items.
Yeah, money, jewelry, all that shit.
But did you come from a good...
Oh, I came from a very well-to-do family. My family we came from New York. My dad had a really good job, made a lot of money on Wall Street. We moved to Mexico when I was 5 years old.
What the fuck?
Was he trying to escape the IRS?
No, he made a grip of money and wanted to be a writer. That was his lifelong dream. And this town, San Miguel de Allende, is where artists go to get inspired, supposedly. So after 4 years of living there and him not selling a single screenplay, he's like, "Oh fuck, we're out of money. We got to go. We got to go figure out something else." So we moved up to Los Angeles, and then that's when I met Pat and Tim and that whole crew. They were like...
So you're facing burglary charges.
Correct.
And your parents are like, we're going to just get him sent to this place.
No, so what happened was my dad hired a really good attorney, and the attorney...
was like, this is his way out.
It said, look, Judge, in lieu, instead of sending him to juvie, why don't we send him to this private school is what they called it.
But it was like a hardcore...
Oh, no, this shit was no joke. Like, it's...
So are you guys able to follow this story?
Was it one of those outdoor
We have literally like
challenge type
100 people
things?
listening right now.
No, so what happened was it was an old... It was like an old mansion that was converted,
cool.
And it had like a basement, but it was literally like identical to jail.
Really?
I mean, I've been to jail several times. You know about that shit.
Yeah,
we'll get to that later.
So you got to go a little closer. They're having a difficult time hearing.
Okay, is that better?
Are they? Are you
Yeah.
live?
Yeah, I just
Wait, hold on a second.
Difficult to hear.
God, I love that.
difficult to hear.
She's live.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, see, here's the thing, guys. I don't have this piped in yet, but soon I'm going to figure out a way to pipe in what we're hearing in the headphones so they can hear it the way we're hearing it. But right now, all they're hearing
Oh, is what's coming into the phone?
is like this is what they're hearing.
Right.
They're
So
hearing
it's a little
the speaker
echo.
on the
Yeah.
But yeah, yes, they can all the yeses.
Yeah, there's
they
a
can
lot
hear
of
it.
difficult to hear. But
So
yeah.
Goodman's telling us the story of when his parents hired some people to just take you out of bed.
No. So what happened was the judge was adamant about me going away and doing time because I had 3 charges and I was defiant every step of the way.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It was just growing up in like this
right.
was like in high school, freshman year, and the thing was like I was hanging out with like Cayman Hargraves and like all these kids that were a lot older.
Cayman
Remember him?
Hargraves.
Yeah, that fool was gnarly.
I don't remember him.
Okay.
But he was like probably.
Him, Logan Reynes, all those older guys
Yeah.
that were like, it was cool to be like a thug or be bad or whatever. And like,
it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, and when you're like,
these guys are just-
when you're like looking out for affection from others or whatever, you know, like you want to be accepted.
And you just moved there.
Yeah, no, I'd been living in Lost Hills since like 1st or 2nd grade.
Oh, okay.
So that we're talking now, and this is in high school.
Altogether, how much time would you say you've done? I mean, not like a whole bunch, but he's been in and out. Like, how much time would you
Been
say?
in and out of correctional facilities since the age of 14. I have probably done a total of about 4 years, maybe combined,
Wow.
because there were different stretches.
Right. So they take you out of bed.
Right. Well, the judge agreed, except I was court ordered to finish this program. And the thing is that about 60% of the kids in that place were in the same situation. It was offered as an
So
alternative.
how much time did you do at Utah?
26 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
And
do you think it's worse than juvie where you went?
oh,
Or-
absolutely.
Yeah.
We had case managers there who are supposed to, so like the case manager is supposed to basically be like, you're assigned to a group or a pod of people. Mm-hmm. The building's on lockdown 24/7. The staff that they hire were all these like Samoan, like Tongan football players from Dixie State. So these fools, you fuck around, and these fools you get slapped, and like you go flying
But
across the room.
you know what's funny though? This is what I think is really interesting. Is we remember came in and it's funny when we look back on like when we were in high school, middle school, or whatever. These bad kids, like
Right.
dude, they were all little bitches. We were 17, 16. Like, if you really,
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, like, you know, these guys seem like so gnarly. Like, remember, like Logan or even like Josh Hesketh, like slanging or whatever. You know, like
Yeah.
he was like a badass. That fool was fucking a little 16-year-old pussy. I mean,
But when we were 13 or 14,
right.
you know, that they seem a lot bigger and badder.
This guy's
you know.
Samoan. No, I know, but it's funny because sometimes I think about that and I'm like, dude, it's such a weird. When you see kids in high school, you're like, they're just little kids.
Yeah.
Although some seniors are pretty gnarly, like, you know,
I had
LeBron
a senior,
James.
he had a beard. He looked like a man. He
Well,
was
yeah,
like a football player.
Well, LeBron James.
There was only
entered-
one of those, though.
LeBron James entered the NBA as a senior, so you can be gnarly as a senior.
Yeah.
But like most 11th graders are not like gnarly or scary at all. But so what we're gonna try to do here is like fast forward.
Yeah.
Wait,
we
wait.
want the cliff notes.
cliff notes.
Wait,
I got
one.
you.
I have one question. So, because I spent a lot of time in juvie and placement and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious about this place because it sounds like it's worse than going to jail. Our juvie.
Well, the same way that the prison system in the United States has been privatized for money, for financial gain, that's the exact same business model that this school program was operating out of. They had strategic locations that were outside of U.S. jurisdiction, like Western Samoa, Mexico, and in those countries, they abide by different laws, and they can get away with shit that you would go to jail for out here. One of the kids got sent to the site in Mexico, and they called that place high impact. So that's when the kids that were really bad that went to our place, the worst of the worst, they just couldn't put up with them anymore. They sent them to Mexico. High impact. And at that location, one of the kids died. And that's when all the shit came crashing down. The whole program fell apart.
Maddie Simmons says she's been sent away to rehab in Mexico. Gnarly. I don't know if that's the same thing, but is that Maddie? Is that our Maddie?
No, that's not our Maddie.
That's a different one.
So let me ask you this: did you get any benefits or any like PTSD from that experience, or anything takeaways?
No, I mean, I became a much tougher, gnarlier person. I feel like, as far as my getting thick skin and being able to handle shit.
I think it may have done like damage to him. Actually,
She said it.
Well, I mean, look. So I was trying to get to that point. The case manager was a woman.
Oh, it is her.
It is her, yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry.
Maddie.
There's a girl here in our chat that jumped in our meeting that we did. I spoke in a meeting because
Right.
Hilary asked me to speak on a Friday,
Friday night, yeah.
and this girl Maddie attended the meeting and she shared, and it was really powerful. Share. She was crying and talking about, you know, wanting to be sober, and it was really cool because we got to see.
Yeah,
firsthand.
and her date is August 15th. Is her sobriety date, right, Maddie?
But we got to see like social media like actually helping people
Right.
get sober, because she would have never been in the meeting if she hadn't found me on TikTok, and now she has Hilary over here as her sponsor, right?
Yep.
Is that what
Yep.
is happening? And so we're, you know, if you want to get sober, or you just want to have a better life. I think, that's what we're here for, is to help people understand how to do that through like humility and basic,
having gratitude, man.
Gratitude.
Every day is a fucking blessing.
Yeah.
And it's not only that. I mean, it helps us because that's how it works, right?
Yeah, the giving is in the receiving.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay, so you're in this gnarly place.
In a gnarly place, we tried to escape once. We were able to successfully get out.
What do you mean we?
Me and a couple of the kids that were there.
Was it co-ed?
Yeah, you didn't give a fuck, dude.
No.
When we're kids, we're just fucking, we don't give a shit.
So
Yeah.
It's almost like you don't have morals or something. There's like no moral compass.
You haven't. Fear is not really.
Yeah, fear
embedded in
it
you
does
yet.
not
You
exist.
haven't. Fear has not hit the pavement yet.
It hasn't. But
hasn't.
in some ways, I kind of wish that never went away. Like in some ways, I wish I could go back to how I was when I was young, as far as
Well,
like the
prayer
care.
does that.
Yeah.
That's a prayer.
The whole carefree. I want to live life with a little bit of a lighter.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Everything's so heavy.
I don't know.
Like
Yeah,
when-
when you're that young and you haven't gone through all the shit that life throws at you, you're not really jaded on life yet.
right.
But
the goal for us here is to go back to the childlike mind in some ways.
I think a lot of ways.
We're not thinking as much, and we're sort of letting go more, and we're just kind of taking one step at a time. I mean, if we could just turn our brains off and just do the stuff, we'd be fine. But the brain just keeps going, and it's just
You live your life in fear and scarcity.
Yeah, but if we turned our brain off, we wouldn't be who we are. That's the great thing.
No, but like
we're
praying,
given free will.
but praying is a way for us to get out of our, like, we don't want to be making the decisions. We want to just be kind of cruising through life like zippity, dude, like singing in the morning. Like that's a kid. That's some kid shit. That's some young, like, I don't want to be thinking so much,
If you think about it, I mean, if you kind of like, what does prayer do? I mean, it's like when I pray, I go to God. It's like, God, my Father, let's say. I mean, I use it at that sense. Like, I'm like a child. I need help. So that's how I get my, not immature care. It's that childlike energy back.
Yeah.
Childlike spirit.
There's elements of the child thing we want, and there's elements of the adult thing that we want.
It's not childish. I would like a childlike spirit, which is like playful, and I have fun,
Innocent.
and I see the beauty in things. And
I got you.
I see the pony and the horse shit. I see the good stuff. It's like, oh, this, like you said tonight, you were sharing tonight, I hope I can say, but you're sharing about your breakup with your wife, and it's like, if you go to yourself, you're going to see all the horrible things in it and the loss. But when you go to and you pray and you're like, God, help me see the good in this, it's like, you know what? I don't know what the outcome will be, but I'm going to have faith. That's what faith is about. It's like, I'm going to trust this one. I don't understand why I'm going through it, but I'm just, you know what? I'm going to take that leap of faith that says, I'm going to believe that you've got something better for me, or this is all happening for a reason. I don't understand it, but that's like a child. When a child goes, I don't know what's going on. And then the mother or father said, it's going to be okay. And you're like, okay, I'm going to believe you.
So like, where are you at with that? Like, we can come back to the story thing, but I just want to kind of touch base on like, where are you at with like your recent breakup and just like being able to like live your life day to day and try to, I mean, I know it must be super painful. Like, how are you like?
Yeah, no, I mean, but it is very painful, or was, I should say. I love her, and I will always love her. I want her to be happy.
Yeah, that's great. And I think she will love you too forever. You guys share something that's.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, I know she does, and I know she always will. You guys will never be able to forget the years you spent together, and all the good times.
That's what I've been doing recently. Is it's so easy to focus on the negative, but we were together almost 10 years, and That's almost a third of my life on this planet.
Yeah.
That's a long fucking time.
But you guys are young.
I grew up pretty fast. I knew what I wanted.
In some ways, yes, but then in other ways, like we are emotionally stunted, and we need to learn, or at least I was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
when you talk about that, say I, not we, right? You speak for yourself.
Well, when
that's good.
But when I say we, I speak for alcoholics. Which you don't know for sure if you are yet, but that's what I say we. When I say we, I mean like
a collective whole.
A collective whole. Like if you're an alcoholic, you've definitely stunted your emotional growth, and you have this issue of like king baby, and we can't trust our mind, and it's we're definitely like selfish and self-centered, and I mean, if you admit that you're an alcoholic, these are some of the things that you that kind of go hand in hand with the disease.
Right.
But it's like in step 2, it says, the hoop is bigger than it looks. Like you don't have to take all this all in at once. It's a process. It's like if I had to all of a sudden, Goodman's
the best though. He goes, "Speak for yourself."
No,
he's so fucking like we were on the. I have a bachelor party. We call it this trip. I made this video. It's on my YouTube. It's the fucking best. It's my bachelor party, and I'm filming everyone. We're fighting. We're like, and I'm talking about alcoholism because our friend Brad is like going through it. And what did I say?
I forget.
I was like
something profound.
I was like, no, I was like trying to like,
he was talking about.
I was like, I know we've all done a lot of stuff that, whatever. And he's like, let's keep it to the I. Let's keep it to I statements. Cause I'm like looking at Goodman and I'm like talking to Goodman, and he's like, let's just, it was a really funny moment.
Timing's everything
in the video. Yeah. And meanwhile, Brad's like crying. And
he was having a rough time and he was venting.
Yeah.
And it was basically the same exact scenario. He was saying something like,
I need to post that video again. I wonder if it's even on my YouTube, but whatever.
I think it is. You guys were watching it here.
Well, that's on Vimeo.
Whatever.
But, so you go to fucking the juvie thing.
Yeah, whatever. So I go to the juvie thing.
Come back.
The thing that was fucked up though there is that the case manager, the woman that was supposed to be like watching over us and like reporting back to the courts and giving them like status updates and stuff, like they were fucking the kids. Like we were having sex with these chicks who were like 45 years old and who had like husbands and families of their own and
really?
Yeah. So me and then this one other kid. I know 2 other kids were having sex with this woman too. And when you're locked up all day and you're getting the shit beat out of you by these guys, it's like you got nothing better to do. So why not?
The good with the bad.
Yeah.
In your mind.
So you come back home, you start selling a little weed.
Yeah, so when I was gone, my dad left my mom for his yoga instructor.
Wow.
And he was very strategic about hiding his money to not have to pay for child support and things of that nature, from my understanding. That's really the reason why I started slanging on the level that I did, because I'm paying my mom's mortgage in cash every month, handing her.
So you just like were angry at your dad?
Oh, 100%. He used to beat the shit out of me all the time when I was a kid, younger. So
really,
yeah.
But what does that look like?
Getting thrown down a flight of stairs.
Wow.
Like they only stopped happening when I got big enough to fight back. Mm-hmm. Like that's what stopped him from doing that.
And you just fucking.
Oh, that's why I was always fucking scrapping and like being like just the fucking savage like idiot that I was, because I had so much anger built up inside me that like that's the only way I knew how to get it out.
This is one of the things about Goodman where like I feel like there are certain people who may not actually be alcoholics. They may just have like serious like rage issues or like depression. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, not everybody is.
Because
there's
like
only 10%
I don't know, there's some
are.
like there. I have to have an open mind. You know, like I definitely think that there was a period of time in your life where like you benefited, where you are benefiting from like doing less because you're going. Like Veronica got sober for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? She kind of needed to clean up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I had a couple 2 years here and there where I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the crazy thing about people that are just like hard drinkers, not alcoholics, is they can just clean up real quick. Mm-hmm. Like I can't just clean up real quick.
Well, that's that invisible line we cross over. We don't know we've crossed over it.
What do you mean?
Well, they talk about it in AA. It's the invisible line. Like, I don't know when I did it, but at that point when I did, even though I wanted to stop hurting myself and destroying my life and blowing my life up, I get up in the morning and say, I'm not going to do this again. You know what? Or on a Thursday, I'm going to have such a great weekend. I've got this whole, everything. I'm going to take care of myself. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm like, hey, give me a beer. It's like I had no intention of doing that, but
Let me get one of those.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the point. I crossed over that invisible line that I can't. It's the phenomenon of craving that no matter how much I want to,
I think
disease.
that for someone like, do you have that? Like, have you ever been in a situation where you're like, okay, I'm not drinking, I don't want to drink, and then you just drink? Or is it more of like you just end up acting out your anger and that's your thing? I don't know.
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I see where you're going with it.
because I feel like you can kind of just like take it or leave it. I don't know.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
For me, I was drinking heavily because
I'm not going a day without my pills and my weed. You know, it's just like I'm not going anywhere without it.
Yeah.
Like you're not really like that.
No.
But you like to drink when you're on a thing with people.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like for me now, drinking, it's different now because for me, it's going through the divorce and slowly watching my marriage like unravel. It was the hardest thing in the world for me to go through because when the person you care about the most on this planet doesn't care for you the same way back, that's like the most painful fucking shit you can ever fucking feel, and it sucks. And yeah, but look, we had gotten married. I had a really good job working with friends of mine that I still love and care about, and we crushed it. We built a really awesome company, and I was making a lot of money, and my plan was to buy a house, start a family with Alma, and it didn't end up working out that way. So we were already having tension between us. We were partying a little bit more, and I can remember to trace it back to when Cassie got divorced, because once she got divorced,
she put that shit in Alma's head, maybe.
And it wasn't so much as that. It's like Cassie is a very intelligent person. She's very loving and compassionate when she needs to be.
She's pretty hot too.
She's pretty hot. She's
like this little like firecracker.
Yeah.
Like fake tits, just like a partier, like flirty. Like
it was also her personality that had hot.
She's just
it wasn't just a physical.
She's just like down.
Yeah.
Like
she's just like down.
She is. I mean, she's sent me photos and all kinds of stuff. You know?
Yeah, no, I'm aware.
We probably would have, whatever.
Yeah.
Me and Veronica, I would have wanted to, have a situation with Cassie, but Veronica is just narch. She wants to keep it classy,
I got it.
But
yeah, she likes the.
So your marriage fell apart. You broke up, and you drank to like to do. But you were drinking before.
That's the thing. Yeah. So let's go back on that. So I was drinking before.
Like I feel like that's a big part of the reason why that happened.
It is, and that's I was trying to get to that point.
Right.
So Cassie gets divorced, And at that point, she's hanging out at our house like all the time because her and Alma are like sisters, right? So that's when the alcohol consumption really kind of got ratcheted up. It wasn't like every day.
Oh, because like she was drinking with Cassie.
We were all drinking. Like our house was like basically the jump off point.
And you were doing more than just drinking.
Yeah. I was, doing blow and all that other shit.
Yeah, but like physically with, Cassie and whoever else was there.
I mean, let's keep it G. Let's keep it G rated for the time being.
All right, cool.
All right, we'll get to that shit later.
No, we don't even need to get. We don't even need.
Yeah, I don't want to.
We don't even need to get to it.
I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah. So you're partying, you're drinking, and it's getting out of control. And then when that happens, you start to fight or whatever.
No, because what happens was
in a general way.
What happened was that it was basically like this cycle. Like every Friday, we'd get off work, and then it'd be like just drinking and doing blow from Friday all the way till Sunday. And it was just a cycle that kept repeating. And it was just like, I was sick of it because like I was really trying to focus on my career and trying to, build a family and a life with Alma.
Right.
And I could see it start to kind of unravel before my eyes that shit was spiraling out of control and I was not down with it. And every time I would try and put my foot down and say, hey, let's chill, I would get a lot of pushback. And it,
Really?
Yeah. It got to a point to where.
Well, because you don't drink. That's another thing is I feel like, yeah, but you both kind of got a little, neither one of you really gets wasted well.
I would say it's an accurate statement.
Both of you guys.
Yeah.
So they're both. Yeah, you both would. Yeah, and that's the other thing is like she's young. You guys are young, and you're still learning stuff together, and that's where the humility comes in, and it's just important to. Yeah, it's hard, man.
Yeah.
Well, how old are you?
So Billy, let's talk into the mic.
When you say young, how young?
Yeah, how old are you?
Talking about?
36 years young.
Oh no, right now he is, but he got married at 26.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this shit's going on. We're talking. He's like 29.
So when did you notice it was unraveling? Like how many years ago?
So we've been apart.
Did you have a good long stretch where it was good?
Oh yeah, we traveled the world together. We had all these inside jokes where you can like make someone laugh so hard.
Yeah, no,
that
look,
they would almost be crying.
I filmed their wedding.
Yeah,
and it was like the sickest wedding video ever. I was at their wedding. And then I filmed like 2 other weddings in that place in Mexico.
Yeah, Sayulita.
But actually,
oh, it's beautiful down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just remember though, we ended up. Yeah, I even remember it being somewhat of an issue at the wedding too.
It was because at that point we were still partying a lot.
So we get up, right? We're going on a boat trip. We're going on the boat in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And she stayed back with Cassie and them.
Yeah.
Because they went too hard the night before.
Yeah. And when you made the video and she saw it, she was fucking like so pissed.
Right.
Because like she saw what she missed out on. Because like that's what I'm talking about. It's not about making money. It's about making memories.
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, that was
really
on.
matters.
I mean, should I not have put that in? Like, so the video.
No, you should have put it on.
Hold
there.
up. So like, I basically have like, so this was right when I got my camera. So we're on the boat, and I'm literally filming like a music video on this boat. Like we're listening to music, like this wedding video is so dope. Like it looks like a fucking movie. Like we're on the boat, everyone's like rap. Like it looks like people are performing.
It looks like a fucking rap video.
And then there's a drone.
Yeah.
Like I have drone shots and a boat shot. It's just a beautiful location and like girls, and it literally looked like a music video. But like the bride wasn't on the boat. So she saw the wedding video and she was like, I remember her. I remember her not loving the video for that reason, but shit, I'm trying to just make the best video I can.
No, that was an epic trip, and you should have documented every.
And like
every
that's
moment.
my whole thing as like.
Do you think she's an alcoholic?
See, that's the thing. I can only speak for myself.
Good.
And I'm not going to say anything bad about her. I love her. That's a decision that she would have to make a conclusion she would have to come to. I honestly don't think so.
Yeah, I think that she just, she just likes to have fun.
Yeah,
it's
just like.
I mean, listen, all the times, from my perception, all the times leading up towards the end when we were out and having fun, we went to a few different weddings when you guys were on the rocks.
Yeah.
We went to one in the Caribbean. Where the fuck were we?
Yeah, we were in cousin Chris's wedding.
Yeah, we're at a wedding, and this fool's tripping.
Well, again,
He was just
that was because that's what at that point that was like at the peak of the pinnacle when the shit was like just hitting the fucking fan.
So this guy went through like almost. It all started in Palm Springs, I feel like.
Correct.
He had this episode where you took too much whatever and you just started getting super paranoid, and this fool kept coming up to us going like, yo, like, he kept thinking everyone was conspiring against him. It was like, I mean, remember you took my phone and you fucking,
yeah,
that was like something I don't know. There are still times when I'm like, it's hard for me to even forget.
No, I think I had like a mental, like I snapped because like that, on that moment, I remember exactly why too. I realized at that point that Alma was no longer in love with me. And that's what made me flip the fuck out.
On your wedding?
No, this is on her birthday. We all, a group of us went up to Palm Springs together.
Oh, it's so hard to be on both sides.
Yeah, but I don't know that's...
No, it was. I remember it specifically.
But how do you know for sure?
Because I look back on it every fucking day, and I think about it. Because I always question why that happened. Like, was it too much drugs? Was it this? Was it that?
Well, I can relate to that because when I found out Angela didn't love me anymore, I lost my mind.
Yeah.
I was scary. I became scary.
Yeah, but hold on a second. You were acting in a way. I saw it.
No, I do remember that.
So you were acting so like paranoid, and like you had like a really bad trip that lasted like a really like way too long.
So this is another reason why I was drinking a lot too, was because at around that time when I realized that we were kind of circling the drain, it was too much for me to process mentally. I was having panic attacks, and that's one of the reasons why I was drinking so heavily. Because the more panic attacks I would have, I would drink to kind of like.
But why were you having panic attacks? Or you don't know?
I don't know.
So this is before Palm Springs.
No, this is pretty much from Palm Springs onward.
Well, so that's what I'm saying is I feel like Palm Springs was the beginning.
It was.
And whatever happened at Palm Springs, I think that you took whatever it was, Molly or whatever it was, and it brought something to the surface.
Correct. It was something that I think I had known for a while, but I just did not want to accept or acknowledge.
As it relates to Alma?
Yeah.
No, I think that there was other stuff that came to the surface.
Other trauma?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Like insecurity, rage.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
There's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, self-limiting beliefs, all that shit.
And that was like coming out during that trip, and she was just like, this is too much. But she wasn't even like, dude, it was her 30th birthday party, and you were like threatening to leave for like no reason.
I was really upset.
But why?
Because I was freaking out, and the fact that like I could not get any support from her whatsoever.
But she was giving you support.
I don't remember it that way.
I know, but that's because we're king babies. We're like little children, and all the validation in the world will never be enough because we need to be the ones to validate.
You, not him. You're not him.
Yeah, well, I don't know though. I feel like
there's a line in the big book that says,
I feel like I can relate
did we not indeed set the ball rolling?
And I was there, dude. I was like watching it though, Billy.
No, I hear you. I was like joking.
That was it.
No, but I was like watching this happen, and he kept coming up to me and Veronica, and he was like, dude, what happened? Like, I know something happened. I know everyone's like tripping on me and looking at me and talking about me, and we're like, you're tripping,
but
dog.
You're talking about alcoholic. I think he had like a breakdown.
Yeah,
no, he did. Right.
It was 100% like a mental breakdown. Like, and it was
right. But what I'm saying is, his mental breakdown was something that she wasn't equipped to deal with.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that she was
nobody
falling.
is.
It wasn't that what she was falling out of love with him. She just like didn't know like what to do, and he perceived that as she's falling out of love with me, and it enhanced your fear even more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just feel like, have you been going to like a therapist and really talking about all this stuff?
It sounds like, bro, you got some shit to fucking work out.
I have been.
And I'm actually realizing right now, like today, and you actually showing up. He was the first one here. He called me last night. He's like, yo, I want to like get some good people back into my life, because low key, like me and Veronica sort of cut him off. He's a really close friend of mine, and this is the first day I've seen him
in more than a year. I want to
like
say.
This fool's just been like, yo, we're done. You're out. You're not okay, and you need to like figure your shit out, or like get sober, or whatever it is.
That's hard. That's tough love, but you know what?
But so now he's here, and I'm like, yo, like, dude, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Like, I want to help you, and we're gonna get through this together.
Oh no, the last year has been the toughest year of my life, but also one of the best, because I was at a point where I had everything, and I was not happy. And then when I lost it all, this last year, even though I was homeless for a short period of time. I had a 12-year career for a very profitable job that I lost, and I lost the person I care the most about in the world.
Yeah,
Alma. And through losing all of that, it's funny learning to lose, right?
it's a brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's a good name.
It's Dane.
Hey.
Dane was like so ill.
Yeah. He was ahead of his time.
He just understood some shit that we're just now catching up to.
Yeah.
Or he was channeling it somehow or something.
I mean, this guy, songs,
Dane was just like high level.
He wrote the most incredible songs. I don't know.
That's so
I'm gonna say
apropos.
all of this comes from this guy Dane, who died of cancer. My best friend. I was in a band with him called Therapist. It was a punk band, and he wrote. You know, I mean, he was in Alive at 27 was one of the bands he was in, but I was in his band Therapist, and he wrote, you know, just such incredible songs about surrender, and I'm at the end of the rope with 10 broken fingers, and the fire's burning the thread fast. Dang it, should I quit while I'm behind? The slope's too high for me to climb. Yeah, while the others reach the end, I lost my grip and I began to descend. Like, it's all about like failure and like realizing the truth through defeat. And that's
isn't that how we learn?
Well, that's learning to. But this song I'm talking about right now is quit while you're behind. Quit while I'm behind. Not like you should quit while you're ahead. He wrote the song called "Quit While You're Behind." Like, he was just the gentleman loser, just the guy who would go surfing. All he cared about was having lunches with his friends and going surfing. And he got married before any of us. And he understood the value in the things in life that like you don't really usually get till like later. You know, like when you're in high school, you're just trying to win and like get money and like fuck bitches or whatever. But this guy was just like, he was ahead of his time.
100%.
So everyone, if you want to check out any of his music, you can. I have a SoundCloud dedicated to him called Dane Rippee, DaneRippee, or Dead Horse Revival. That's another name of like Dead Horse. You know how like beating a dead horse, like quit beating. The name of the band was Dead Horse Revival. So he had all these Alive at 27, because you know how all the people die at 27. And then Therapist, the rapist, like Therapist, like therapy, but like also they're pissed, like we're pissed. Therapy, the rapist, like we're raping your ears with our music. He just was really smart, and he played with words really well. And so yeah, check him out, Dane Rippee on SoundCloud or Alive at 27. Sorry, but so you're saying that you lost a lot this year,
yes,
and it's brought you to a place of surrender and gratitude in a way.
Well, again, we get to the gratitude part. So I was It was, remember, we were at Evigan's house, and it was the one of the parties he was having. And I was there with DDA. We were doing mushrooms. And just sharing our stories, like about his relationship falling apart.
Right.
Mine was falling apart.
Fucking DDA went through it, bro.
We went through the same exact thing. And so me and him were having this like really deep conversation.
This guy was going to get married in Mexico. We were all going. And the 2 days before we went, she was like, I don't want to marry you. So we all went to Mexico for their wedding, and they didn't talk to each other once. It was like the weirdest.
Did they get married?
No.
Wow.
You know DDA?
Yeah.
I mean, and he had like Lyme, and then he got like Lyme disease. Mm-hmm. Just like, but now he's just like such an incredible person. It's almost like God, God like, it's like the diamond that comes from like pressure.
Extreme pressure. That's
pressuring the coal. Like we go through all this pain and suffering so that we can become these like better people.
That's how caterpillars become butterflies.
Yeah.
The caterpillar suffers the most gnarliest fucking death ever when it's in the cocoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then it comes out something, it does.
Wow.
That's one of the things that I learned at gratitude.
Circling the drain. I love this guy's metaphors. Like, I remember we were in Palm Springs. God, I wish you could remember what you said.
What?
But it was like, I mean, the sun's coming up. It's just a shit show. I mean, like we have this house rented in Palm Springs. This guy has been like literally a paranoid schizophrenic for the past 15 hours. He's been coming up to everyone the whole time. Dude, what? I know you're not fucking telling me something. And then we convince him it's all good. And then he'd go to someone else and be like, yo, what's going on, bro?
God, talking about living.
Yeah.
Like, and it's fucking like 5 a.m. We were in the jacuzzi. People are getting naked. It's like, I'm sober through all this, by the way, which I don't even know how. I think I was the only person sober on that whole trip.
Yeah.
And the sun's coming up, and he's just tripping. Like, we're smoking gritty. I feel like I'm on meth. The sun's coming up.
It was you and me in the backyard. Yeah.
And you said something like, something about like the Grim Reaper or...
I don't fucking remember.
I don't know. It was just something really funny. Next thing I know, we go to bed. I can't find my phone. He leaves. He left 3 times. It's Alma's birthday. It's her 30th birthday, and he left. Like, I'm getting an Uber home. I'm leaving. You guys are fucking tripping. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, so he disappears. He just walks. He leaves. And I'm like, me and Veronica are like, dude, we give up. This fool's tripping. I don't even know what to do. And I can't find my phone. Wait, where's my phone? Where'd my phone go? So I grab her phone. And I got Find My Friends on the phone, and I get in my car. I'm looking at Veronica's phone, and I'm going to my phone where it says my phone is. Because if you follow someone on Find My Friends, you can see where the phone is. And it's on the. I pull over. It says it's on the side of the road, and I find it in the dirt. And I'm like, this motherfucker took my phone and just threw it in the dirt. And I don't even know. No one knows where he is.
Can you explain a little bit where your head was at?
I don't know.
Do you not even know?
I don't know. I could. I wish I could.
I was so mad at. And then to top it off.
Oh wait, there's more.
No, to top it off, I wake up. I'm like, wait till everyone finds out what this fool did last night. I get up. I peek out the window. He's out in the pool. Everyone's chilling. Everything's fine. He's hanging out with everyone. Everyone's fine. I walk outside. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, bro? And everyone's just like, whatever, it's all good. And I was like, no, it's kind of not all good.
Yeah, you were a little upset. I remember.
But I mean, forgive, forget. You were going through your thing.
Yeah. So.
Ask him what was going through his head.
He doesn't know. He says he doesn't know.
I felt like I was losing my wife, and it gave me so much like emotional stress and anxiety.
How long did you stay married after that?
About another 2 years.
Really?
I think so.
No.
Yeah. No.
Wow. So the 2 years after that Palm Springs trip were just riddled.
Yeah.
With like you,
or like a year and a half.
Your insecurities, and you just thinking, this is, you kept thinking, so this is what we do. We're afraid to lose something, so we like push it away.
Yeah. Well,
we ruin it. We squeeze the thing that we want so bad that we break it.
What you fear, you create.
Of losing.
That's what it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, so you did that.
For sure. I think, therefore I am. Like, that's what that shit is.
So you were having issues with your wife, and
so was it like? Did you think everyone else knew what was going on except you? Was that
no?
what you were asking?
I think everyone else at the party.
Yeah, like you were asking them for information.
There was a point in time at this Palm Springs party where Veronica said, "This is what happened. We shoved this thing up your ass." While you didn't know. And he was like, really? He believed.
Oh, yeah.
He actually believed that was the thing we were all hiding from him.
Oh, so he just thought there was something.
Yeah, he didn't even know what the fuck. He was like, what are you guys, everyone's laughing at me.
Yeah.
Everyone's in on some secret that I'm not in on. What is it? It was a drug-induced psychotic episode.
Okay.
But I think that those happen because certain
you're already in a space.
Yeah, certain hallucinogenics and certain was it Molly? It was acid and Molly.
It was a combination.
It was I think it was bad Molly.
It was
something.
No, for sure.
And it brought out something that already was there. It enhanced it. Mm-hmm. To like the 10th degree.
I think that's a very accurate
and it stayed with you for like a whole year.
Yeah. So at that point, our plan was to start a family, buy a house, all that shit. And when
she was on board with all that?
Yeah, in the beginning. And then I think, again, I can't speak for her and what she was thinking.
Dude, somebody just got blocked automatically. But this is like amazing. People are like, love this podcast, so open and real. I just want to commend you for being willing to just talk about this in an open way, because I think that there are way more people than you realize, not just right now listening, but that are going to listen, that will get something from this. Like, that's the cool thing is, like, we're talking about shit that a lot of people...
Oh, 100%.
Like, so here's the thing about this podcast. No other podcast goes where we're going.
Because we're going into personal lives.
Nobody goes there. They don't go there on Joe. Joe doesn't... I don't even know what Joe's wife's name is. Like, so not everyone on this podcast has to expose all their shit. But if you're willing to talk about your truth in a specific way, right? We don't need to share it in a specific way at meetings, but here I encourage you to, because the more specific you can get, the more relatable your experience is. Mm-hmm. And I'm going as far as to talk about, I'm working on a YouTube video right now where I went to visit the urologist. I mean, that's where I'm going with it.
Okay.
Because I'm having some issues, and I'm not afraid to admit the issues I'm having, because other people may be having them.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, like, private parts or sex or all the things that our society thinks are like taboo, antidepressants, depression, alcoholism, that we're not really supposed to talk about. Like, let's get in there, because people are dying. They're killing themselves because of the shame, fear culture. We live in this fear. It's like a shame. It's shameful to
guilt and shame
to go to the bathroom. I've always felt shame for having to like go number 2.
Yeah, but I would pivot on that and say I think vulnerability is really a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness.
100%.
That's it. Vulnerability is an asset.
You just said it, bro.
Yeah,
weakness.
That's real talk.
And that's what you're doing right now. You're like getting honest and vulnerable, and it's actually going to help a lot of people. And I just commend you for that. And I honestly think that we just randomly stumbled across probably what's going to be the best podcast we've ever done. No. I'm dead serious, dude. But this time I'm like, they keep getting better. Mm-hmm. They really do.
Yeah.
So can Hilary's here, and I just want to kind of give her an opportunity to kind of...
No, I'm totally listening. This is nice.
I know, but you've experienced some stuff with abuse.
Yeah.
Growing up and toxic relationships, and I just want to see if we can get some Mama Hillary wisdom
Oh
before we go back
I'm
to
gonna
Aaron.
go blow my brains
I could use a break. Thank
If
you.
you have anything,
Yeah. Well, you grow up in a really toxic environment where I grew up around a lot of abuse, and I saw the dynamics between my mother and father. So that was my first imprint of love. Mm-hmm. There was like fighting, and there was, my mother constantly cut my dad down. He was never enough, never enough, never enough. And I just thought she was Satan. That's what I just thought. She was horrible. But, the more I grew up and I got sober, I realized she was tortured. She was mentally tortured by her alcoholism, that she never felt enough, that she felt like she was failing. So she projected, we call that gaslighting. She projected all her stuff on my dad. And my dad was like a hero in my eyes. I thought, God, how can you stay with this woman? But he did it for the, back in the day, like I'm 20 years older than you. And so our dynamics is different. Like back in the day, they stayed together for the family.
right?
So no matter how bad it got, like on the outside, it looked pretty
Beating
perfect.
the wife, just like
Pretty
violence.
perfect, and
Right.
but on the inside there was just it was chaos. There was such dysfunction. My mother was beating the kids because she hated herself. She'd get up hungover every day and then start drinking in the afternoon. And my dad would work all these hours trying to please this woman, and her ego was never satisfied. Like nothing was ever enough. And so then, my dad would come home and she'd beat on him emotionally and just verbally, just constantly.
Just cut him down, basically.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Oh, your mom would, right?
She was such a ball buster, man. She just she demasculated him.
Where did you live again?
I lived in Tarzana.
Oh,
in
this
the
was
valley.
all in the valley.
Yeah, I was in the valley.
Right.
So,
and you can hear more about this on Hilary's podcast, Hurt People. I forget what episode it was, but it's a really good podcast where she goes into her whole story and being a child actress, and she did the voice for Charlie Brown, and like
Sally, yeah.
she wrote a book.
Really?
Yeah, I just wrote a book, and I'm
like
publishing it right now.
She has a crazy story, and how long have you been sober?
I've been sober 19 years.
She's just
It'll be
like
19.
really ill.
Congrats.
Is the book about your life, or
It's a memoir. It's called Peanuts to Percocet, Notes on a Hollywood Childhood.
Fuck, that's good.
That's cool.
But, back to that dynamics, like, and I remember saying, I'm never going to be like her.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to be like him. I'm not going to put up with anybody's shit. And then there was fighting, and my dad would beat the shit out of my mom, and there'd be blood all over the bedroom because my dad would just smack the hell out of her. And I would go clean up the blood because I didn't want daddy going anywhere because I wanted daddy to protect. We're 7 of us. Mm-hmm. And it was just, and there was lies and bruises and broken bones. And it was always, don't say anything, because we had this very, really good looking family. Like we look like the Kennedy, kind of like that perfection, which is a lot to put on kids because don't show your feelings.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is no matter how much I say I want to be different, I've taken all those values and those principles. So what do I do to men? I'm a bitch sometimes because I'm judging, and it's not so much they're not enough. Is my low self-worth, my low self-esteem. And this is with 19 years sober, guys. Every day, that's my demon. That is my demon that sits on my shoulders. And so I go out with every intention of being loving and kind, and I'm great with strangers. I'm great, but when you get into that dynamic of the home, like I'm just passing on what I learned, and it has to be a real conscious decision. Like, maybe there was a part of you that you just shut down. You just shut down. You didn't communicate. You didn't talk. And she left, because women leave because of emotional things.
For sure.
You know, women cheat not because, oh my God, he's shitty in bed and he doesn't give me, like, go down on me or whatever, you know. I cheat because my emotional needs are not being met. But I don't even know how to ask for them.
Right.
Because I never saw it in my dynamic of my family. So going to AA when I got sober, I just started to look at, it was just, you know, that I start looking at the causes and conditions. And, you know, the great thing about AA, they encourage you, if you need to seek outside help, we're not at all. We're not the all in all. So, you know, I've spent many years. I had an hour and a half on the phone with my therapist today. Mm-hmm. Because my mind goes to, I'm out. I can't deal with this shit. This is, you know, this reminds me of my childhood. I get triggered a lot. But, you know, I have a responsibility to myself to pause and go, what part of it is me and what part of it is real? You know, yeah. And how can I be nice? God, show me how to be nice. Because, you know, I mean, I was saying earlier in the meeting, you know, I wanted to go see my brother in Georgia, and, you know, there's a part of me, I just want to I want to get away, man. I've been locked up, and, you know, and I'm in judge land, and I'm judging him, and he's not doing enough. And this is what I was learning as a kid. I don't even know I'm doing it until I'm in it, and I'm so uncomfortable. Mm. And my husband said to me, you know, I said, I want to go for a week. And he said, why don't you go for 3 weeks?
Yeah, you were saying that earlier.
And it was just like that core of, oh, now you're throwing me away? Wait a minute.
Well, now you're back in.
I'm going to throw you. Oh, you want to see me?
But first you need to get them back so you could throw them.
Right. So it's like, where did I learn that? Where did I learn that? I learned it in my family.
Yeah.
But
yeah, some of the most profound things in my AA work is, like, I hated my stepmom. Just recently doing the 8th step, I realized I am her.
100%.
For 35 years of hatred.
Louder.
I wanted to torture that bitch, you know, and make her say and explain to her what she did.
Yeah.
But I am her.
How are you her?
No, I just did
I
an
am
inventory.
her because the attention has to always be centered on her. And just like a narcissistic.
But do you think that you crave the attention like that way?
And like she said, in the very close things with father, wife, mother.
I just react the way I learned.
And those kind of situations. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I just did.
I mean, maybe not to the degree. I'm not saying I'm exactly her, but I have the same tendencies.
So can I just ask, Aaron, what are the things you don't like about AA? You were saying earlier there was some stuff that you...
Yeah, so here's the thing. Again, this goes back towards me not being sure, right? About the alcoholic thing.
Right.
A part of me thinks that there's a bad stigma, I guess, attached to it growing up.
AA?
Yeah, because like when I was getting in trouble and I was forced to go to those AA meetings on Green Gate Court. You remember the Visions?
Yeah.
That spot?
Yeah, right.
I remember just hating having to be there because I got caught with like a bag of weed or something.
Yeah. So
and I'm listening to someone talk about, like, you know, their aunt or uncle putting a baby in a microwave,
or just shooting dope under a bridge.
Yeah, just like some gnarly
so
shit.
We're trying to look for similarities, not differences. And I also think that, like, what we understand about AA coming into AA is all needs to be thrown out.
Yeah, well,
especially when you're coming into it.
I'm coming into
people that are like we're really doing AA.
No, I get it, and
like,
I don't discriminate against.
Like, we don't even tell.
I just have an open mind.
I'm here.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
so like,
it's great. It's like a slowly open up. Can I answer one thing that I got a bunch of?
Yeah.
And what you guys are saying, and learning to love yourself.
Yeah,
I do.
That's what
love myself.
Okay.
But there is a process of loving myself. Because when I was a kid, I never reached my mother's high expectations. So my background music is, you're a loser, you're never going to get anywhere, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, why are you trying? So my A-type personality, went to college, I did this, and I never felt enough.
I can totally relate to that. Like that's what I think having to do with my father.
I can imagine.
Being the shit.
I can
would
manage.
think that like, oh, I deserve that. I am a piece of shit. So
And it's a
to that
process,
extent.
though. It's like how do you get self-esteem? Self-esteemable acts. How, I have great exercises that I do. Like, I have to look at things I love to do so I can learn how to express myself. It's like I have to tell myself instead. I remember you spill a glass of milk, and I used to, God damn it, you're such a, and it's now, oopsie, like I have to reparent myself on a daily basis.
Here, let me just say what's so funny is Veronica, it's all just oopsie. She just does that naturally. She's just so like carefree and chill, and like I'm just like OCD and like fucking the weight of the world is just like on my shoulders, and she's just always no, this is so cool though. Like the people are really getting a lot out of this. It's really, I mean, you know how hard it is to keep 90 people in a room for over an hour?
No, it's hard to keep people for 10 minutes.
No, but I'm saying like we still have
10%.
92 people in this room because I've been fortunate enough to be able to attract certain like-minded people who like who see the transparency in my life with Veronica. Like we fight and we struggle and we love and we have issues, and I talk a lot about like humility and all this stuff and pains and trauma and
But that's what. But to be honest, just not to cut you off.
No.
That is what it truly means to play team.
Right.
Be there for each other for the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
You can't have the highs without the lows.
for sure.
And you need to be there to support each other.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I think that love is truly the key to everything.
It
My
is.
goal is to create a world that is filled with love and
and
connection.
Gotta have it with yourself. How
Correct.
can you love
It
yourself?
starts with self-love.
What can you do that's self-loving?
So, on my journey to finding self-love or whatever, at that party with DDA, he told me about his experience, and then referred me to the shaman, and I had the most profound spiritual experience of my life that day.
Did you do mushrooms
with him that night?
I mean, with the shaman, you had
No, I smoked the DMT, the same thing
Okay.
did, and I was literally everything and nothing at the same time. I felt like I was part of the universe. I felt like all of the negativity and toxic energy that was inside of me just immediately just completely disintegrated. And I felt like I was gone for like 3 hours. And then when I woke up and came back from like the spirit world or whatever you want to call it, I was like, I was fucking bawling my eyes out, but there was like tears of joy.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I was like, how long was I out for? And he's like, 20 minutes. And I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
No fucking way, bro. Right. I'm like, that's at least 3 hours. He's like, no. Like space and time cease to exist when you're in that space.
Yeah.
So after that, I went home that night and I was thinking clearer than I ever had in my life, ever before. I immediately thinking, okay, I need to fix this shit, get my life in order, and start loving myself and be happy, So before I give myself enough time to change my mind, my cousin was trying to get me into gratitude training a year prior to me and Alma getting divorced, because he knew that something was off, and that
that's dope. So this gratitude training thing. So there are these other programs out there.
Jason went to one like on site. Like,
Yeah.
they're all very
so that's the
similar.
thing, is they're like AA for like normal people. So that's cool. It's funny. I'm having a different experience right now as far as like, because I've always said like I wish there was a place that normal people could go who aren't hope to die drug addict alcoholics.
Yeah.
Who can get what we get. The thing about AA is we're getting this because we share a common. We share the same.
We heal each other.
No.
This is where the love comes in.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that like in AA, like what brings us together is alcohol. But it has nothing to do with alcohol, but that's...
Our devastating weakness brings us
Yes.
together.
Yeah, but we all hit our bottom.
Our
through,
admitting complete defeat
yeah,
brings
but
us
like
together.
But, yeah, but how we get to AA is because we hit a bottom through mind-altering substances. So if you're wanting to just improve your life, but you're like not really addicted to anything, like what do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
well,
there
they
are these,
have like Emotional Anonymous. They do.
But that's what I'm saying. Is
That's kind of what this place is. So
Yeah,
when I went home, but when I was still in that frame of mind, I was thinking, okay, if I'm doing this all the fucking way.
Someone just said AA is a joke.
It could be to them.
So-
That's okay.
No, it's just funny. It's like
It's okay. Not everybody.
But I mean, it's
needs
not
to
a
have
joke. It's not. I mean, look. Here's the thing: is it actually saved my life,
that. Right.
and Billy's and Hillary's. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a joke. Then haha, it's funny.
Yeah.
Here, let's let him finish his gratitude training. I want to hear about
sorry.
this.
So I
You
get
gotta learn
back.
about stuff.
I get back from the shaman, and I'm in this frame of mind where I'm like thinking clearer than I've ever thought in my life. Like, oh, I fucked up here, I fucked up there, I hate myself, this and
So
that.
you were seeing where you had mistakes and where you were thinking wrong.
Yeah, and I was seeing what I truly wanted. I wanted to literally, what I wanted was I wanted
Okay.
to be love.
Hit me up.
And when I say like be love, I mean actually embody the word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel
Because
that
I
way
feel
too.
like love is the key
Love
to
and
everything.
kindness, yeah.
You know?
It really is.
If like more people had love and were able to
It's interesting how we all come, or I came to that too, and that devastate, like the similar thing, a couple years of hell.
Mm-hmm.
I came to that and I accidentally got dosed, and it just reinforced that there's nothing
What's your
worthwhile in life except love and kindness.
I agree.
Hillary
I think
Art,
that's the key
my-
to everything,
which
and I
one?
think that if I think that if everyone went to gratitude training, the thing that I went to, and had the same experience that I did, that there would be no more war.
Right.
There would be no more world hunger. I think that there would literally, everyone would just like love is the key to everything.
Is that Instagram, right?
That's amazing.
Or
And
This is
so
TikTok.
when I get
fuck it.
when I get home.
where you're at.
oops, right.
When I got home from the shaman, I was thinking, okay, before I get out of this frame of mind,
That's my
Yeah.
I'm
TikTok.
gonna follow through with this and go all the fucking way. And that night I booked my plane tickets. I paid for the training curriculum or whatever whatever it cost.
It's gonna show up.
It was a lot of money was spent in
There it is,
then
yeah.
logistically in me getting to and from Los Angeles to Fort Lauderdale, and I fly back and forth and do several of these trainings. It's basically a 3-month program, and I don't want to go into too much detail about
3
it.
month broken apart. And
Yeah, exactly. So the first part 1 was like 5 days in a row, and it's like gnarly, like sleep deprivation. Like you're in this classroom you walk into a room with 70 strangers, and you walk out at the end of that training feeling like closer than family than you've ever
Wow.
felt.
Is there
in your life.
tears and all kinds
Yeah,
of
because
stuff?
everyone shares and
Ideas.
they talk about all of like the dark shit that happens, and there's certain things that I can't talk about because I signed a confidentiality clause on it, but I can tell you it was one of the coolest things ever.
Wow.
And
But like, so you don't need to talk about the specific things that you were talking about, but can you give us a general, like, what do you mean by that? Like you
Okay, so I'll just say this. The program is about these processes that you do. Think of it like a live experiment, a therapeutic experiment, basically, where you do these processes and they bring to light all of the shit, like the self-limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, the way that you're trapped in this prison in your own fucking mind by your own self-doubt and your own self-hatred.
Right.
And, you believe the stuff that you have slowly been told over your life.
As we call
Right.
that principles and values.
Yeah. And after graduating, I couldn't have felt more in tune with myself, with the world, with my emotions, with just what I want to get out of this world. And like I said before, I want to create a world that is filled with love and compassion and connection, and I want to be able to help people that have gone through similar shit.
Yeah.
Well, dang, dude, you're in the right place because that's what we want too.
I know. And I've been trying to.
It's so
I've been
great.
trying to tell Pat this for the last year, but this motherfucker won't answer my goddamn calls.
Well, it's because you had to hit your bottom.
Well, you said that last night too, and then I looked at my text, and you haven't even sent me a text since April.
I sent you a text on your birthday.
Right, April. So you're saying you've been trying to call me, but you haven't.
Yeah.
You haven't called me since April.
You know, time
That's not
kind
true.
of gets a little
This
weird
last
when
year,
you're partying.
it just feels like Groundhog's Day. This past year.
No, but I'm
go.
just saying, like you're saying right now. You're saying I've been trying to tell
okay,
this.
No, but
fool.
I've reached out on different platforms.
But here's the other thing though about it is like this guy, you know, we're pretty sure he needs to be sober.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
I mean, I'm just okay. So
After
I'm
what-
an outsider, and I'm
After what we went through with him, it's like,
Right.
dude, you either get sober.
just what I heard tells me that. Are you sure you don't have a drinking problem?
Right.
I'm just saying.
I had a self-love problem, like because
Well,
for me,
that's
I would rather be numb.
Right, but
And
how can I just really get?
I already-
How,
I
how long have you been sober?
well, the last time I had a drink was over a month ago.
Okay, so you're really like just awakening. And that's not a bad thing. It's really great that you've done all these other things, and it's like everything you put in your bank account adds up.
Yeah, but I haven't had the like felt the need to drink heavily.
Well, this too shall pass.
Well, again,
Unless we do the work. Unfortunately, until we have a character change, we're going to go back to the old character.
Right.
I've already done that though. That's what I'm trying
But-
to say.
but
I'm
I
working on
can't-
that every fucking day.
I understand
I
that,
meditate
but-
twice a day.
Yeah,
I understand
like,
that, but we're talking, Billy's got 20 years, I've got 19 years.
that's cool. Sobriety is great for some people, and
I-
for some people, it's not. For me personally, I think alcohol is something that does not serve me in
Okay,
my life.
that's awesome. That's an amazing
But
start. But
I've never
have an
had-
open mind that,
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Again, I'm here.
right.
Right?
I'm
So
just saying,
I-
I'm giving a heads up.
Okay.
I'm giving a heads
received.
up that today you feel great, but in a week you may feel like, dude, I'm out.
Well,
But the thing is,
Because
though,
that's alcoholism.
no, that's everybody. It's everybody.
Okay.
Everybody has a bad day. Everybody has a time.
But it's what we
guys-
do with this information.
Correct.
Okay.
but he's, you know,
I don't
look.
think we need to force feed him.
No,
He's
but
an
I
alcoholic.
already
figure it out.
like. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna call it right. So he's
Justification
stubborn.
at its
No,
finest.
he's stubborn.
Exactly.
He's thick-headed.
Yeah.
He's grown a lot, and I'm really proud of you.
Appreciate that.
But his life has to get a lot worse, and it's probably going to before he hits a real bottom and says, "Pat, now I'm back again, and I need to get
A
sober."
lot worse from alcohol again.
Yeah.
Well, here's
Right.
the experiment.
It's gonna happen. It's
Here's
just
the
gonna. It might
experiment.
take a year. It might take 2 years, but he has to. He has to experience it.
Let me just say this. So there's also this thing called a periodic. Now, I'm not trying to convince you. I don't know you. You got me convinced you're maybe not.
Right.
But there's this thing called a periodic.
I'm not convinced. I don't know. I'm not a
alcohol-
psychic or I'm not a doctor.
periodic alcoholic doesn't always have to drink, but when they do, they go fucking hard.
I was a periodic. I wasn't a daily drinker. I would go a couple weeks, and then it was like I said I wasn't gonna in my mind. I didn't tell anybody else because God forbid I look stupid. Because God forbid I was wrong. But and all of a sudden it's like, you know, I'm like loaded. I'm on a 4-day bender.
Yeah.
And I had no intention of doing that. I intended to just have
But
one
here's
drink.
the thing about Goodman is he holds it so. He's so like strong and like you keep it together.
Yeah.
Somehow he drank more than anyone at the party by like a long shot, but he's not falling down. He's not throwing up. He's up in the morning going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fucking miserable. You can see it in his fucking
He's
eyes.
we call that
like
a
that's the
functioning
thing, though, bro.
alcoholic.
Check this out. Everyone can see your pain.
Yeah.
But he's got to hit
my heart on my sleeve.
It's been
I love
there.
it.
It's been there.
He hasn't hit acceptance.
It's been there for years.
It's that surrender.
Right. But you're still holding on to.
What?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
It's defending the right to do
I don't
what
know.
we do.
Well, it's like this.
But you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out.
really quiet. You're way quieter.
It's
than
like
everyone
this. If he does drink again and he's all fucked up, then he'll probably maybe they're right. Maybe I should explore that. Otherwise, I think you're not going to convince somebody. I don't know. You know him so well, so I feel like an idiot for even trying to talk.
No,
to him,
and I'm actually with you. Like I mean, this is the interesting thing about alcoholism is it really is
So cunning and baffling.
but it's also self-diagnosed.
Yeah.
100%.
So we can sit here. I know a lot of people who would benefit from being sober. My brother, Tim, Tito. I mean, Tito's a fucking alcoholic. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, but I thought he did get sober.
I don't know. He's in fucking Mexico doing all kinds of weird shit. Who knows
Dude,
what's going on with him?
my husband.
Okay, so these are people, right, that would
Right,
benefit from
right.
it, but they're not. They don't need to get sober. Their life is still manageable.
They're not losing anything.
So here's the requirement. Here's what happened. Here's what you need to admit so that you can be labeled an alcoholic, right? You need to be powerless over drugs and alcohol, and this fool has a lot of power. I mean, he'll beat the shit out of you, and he'll also white knuckle whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna like.
Yeah, but look, every time.
No, but then also your life needs to be unmanageable.
I'm managing my life.
Exactly. So is my brother.
But
so is Tim.
But really, that term doesn't apply to your outside life. It applies to your inner
your
life.
mind.
That's what I'm referring to right now.
Oh,
You're managing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I think that anyone who went through what I went through this past year would fucking lose their shit and probably kill themselves.
Okay.
Like, I feel like for me to have a positive attitude,
Yeah,
this
but
whole
hold
thing,
up. Billy went through worse.
I'm not. This isn't a fucking.
No. I'm just saying. No.
I did. What I planned to kill I was going to.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But he went
Or
through.
I was definitely giving it a lot of thought. You know, when you lose, you break reality, and you don't even know who you are, like the way you're acting. I don't know if you went there, but I lost it. I had one breakdown too, and in these moments of momentary lapse of reason, you could do something that you don't really want to do because you completely disassociate. You know, so it only takes like 5 minutes.
But
if
Billy
you have a plan.
has a kid too.
No, I know that's fucked up. I mean,
So there are a lot of people going through it.
But dude,
Oh
I'm on
my
your
God,
tip.
it's
Love
so
and kindness,
painful.
man. Let's
that's
just
what I'm saying.
let's just
Yeah.
work
Hey,
for
I'll
that,
tell you
man.
one thing. I'm glad you're here. You've grown a lot.
Yeah.
No matter how you look at it, I'm really sorry you had to lose what you had to lose. But no matter how you look at it, the guy sitting in front of me right now is a better, more evolved version of the guy who was my friend a year ago. I can just tell.
Yeah, no,
Isn't that weird how pain just makes us better?
Well, I could tell too, just from today. He was here like an hour before the meeting, just stayed here, and he's still here.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows some willingness right there, or something, some searching.
Which is all that I ever asked for. I don't care if you come drunk next Monday.
I do.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
No, I actually.
that's a bad look.
I don't.
Okay.
The point is
As
that
long as you have a desire, that's what it's about.
I mean, you're not gonna
It's-
come
if
drunk
you have a
because if
desire
you're
to
drunk,
change.
if you're drunk, you're not gonna come. But like, if somebody was drunk and they came because they were like feeling like they were guilty or didn't want to be drunk or didn't want
wanting
to
to stop,
then
they
I'm
wanna
like,
stop.
come on
They don't
over.
wanna
I'm not
stop.
afraid of. That's what I fucking do. I get blacked out. That's who
Right.
I am. I'm not gonna judge you because you're fucking
It's
We're not going to judge you, but it's annoying because they're just
right.
they don't.
That's
Right. So what we're trying to do right now is we're exploring whether or not Goodman is an alcoholic, and he doesn't think he is. And if you're on the fence,
You gotta fall off.
You're not.
I
It's
was
never
on the
going to work.
fence for so
You
long.
can't be on the
it's
fence.
No,
so
I actually even
painful.
knew.
Like this thing doesn't work
Until
unless
you surrender.
fucking know
In your heart of hearts.
you're fucking done. Like without a doubt. The only step you need to do perfectly is one.
Yeah.
Which
When
is
I
that
was-
you've admitted you're powerless over drugs and alcohol, powerless, and your life is unmanageable. Unless you've done that, you're never going to make it through this program.
I was sober almost 9 years, 10 years, and I thought I would never drink again. But in the back of my mind, I thought it's because I'm from this screwed up family. I didn't get enough love. All these things, and I was sure. I was speaking all over the country. I was that girl in AA. I got sober at 21. I'm going to do this thing and all. And yeah,
And you went out.
dude, I went to an AA meeting and said, I don't know. I'm so sad. I had moved. There's all this change had happened. My brother was diagnosed with AIDS. I've had some shit. My dad blew his brains out. So I've had some issues around in my life, and I literally went to an AA meeting and said, I think I might drink, but I don't want to. But see, in the back of my mind, until I came back and realized, and I went out hard. I started doing heroin. I was eating X. It didn't matter.
After having 10 years.
And I didn't go out. I said, I'm just
And now
going to
you have fucking
19, almost
Dude.
19. And
That's the fucking person that I want in my life.
I literally thought that I was going to just take the edge off. And I went on a binge. And I ended up getting kicked. I was in North Carolina. I was doing some movies in North Carolina. I lost my apartment. I'm living on someone's couch. And I'm successful in the film, and I do well. Like all that stuff on the outside. And I end up on my girlfriend's couch and she's helping me kick heroin.
And how old are you?
I was 28 or something like that.
But you got sober at 21.
I got sober at 21. I
So
almost
you
had
must
for
have
9
been-
years. Now I'm going to be.
Oh, okay.
I won't tell you.
Well, no, but so you had 9 years. So if
I
you
had
got
almost 9 years.
So you were basically 30.
I was almost 30, yeah. And I literally was.
I got sober at 21.
Really? It's crazy, man.
No, I was 16.
But I
15.
But I didn't think, because I didn't admit to my innermost self that I'm the one who has the problem. That, yeah, I came from this shit show, but I can't stop blaming where I came from.
I agree.
And all that stuff, but I had to admit.
This isn't about you, by the way. She's just telling her story.
No, I'm agreeing with what she's saying.
Yeah.
I had to admit that, man, I'm fucked up. I need help. And I don't know how to do this on my own. And left to my own devices, I self-destruct. And I had no intention of self-destructing. Because I had it going on. I had dropped out. I'd been to, 8 high schools, dropped out of high school, went and got my GED, went back to college, got a couple degrees, and I was living it. I was like, and everything was good. Why do you get loaded? Because I never really admitted to my inner self
which
that
is
I
it's
am
kind
an
of
alcoholic.
Which it's kind of almost better like that you don't like half step in this program.
Right.
You just
And they
just know.
Just
go
know
out,
that it happens
do
a
some
lot.
experimenting, drink, try to drink socially. The sooner you realize it, the better. Yeah, I worry about some people like Tim or like, because he keeps pulling it together and then going back out and pulling it. It's like, I don't know. I worry because it's like, fuck, man, what would someone's life be if they had just hit a bot? Like, I went so fucking hard.
So you wake up at
so quick.
You went gnarly.
It was almost like, right on. I'm glad I went that hard. So I was able to like really go all in at 21.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like worse for some people when they kind of hold it together till they're 40 or 50, and then they're finally like, man, I really need to get sober. Mm-hmm. But then they kind of don't know, and it's just like... But the thing that I love that Aaron said, Aaron said something really dope. He's like, I'm not an alcoholic, but alcohol... I don't want to drink. Like, you don't want that.
I don't think it serves a... Yeah, it doesn't serve...
It doesn't serve a purpose.
Well,
that's
great. But that's an intellectual answer.
Right. But
that, you're talking from here. It's like, that's when you sit with yourself, like have that quiet time with yourself and talk to that God that we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. And God, help me see who I really am. And help me accept it.
Right.
It's fucking scary.
And they talk in literature.
It's scary about that.
There's a mental blind spot that we can't even see. We're unable to. That's part of the mental illness of alcoholism. Mm-hmm. Is you can't see, self can't reveal self to self. You don't even see what it is, except when you have a moment of clarity or something like that.
Right.
But still, I'm not trying to convince you. We've just gone into this alcoholic talk, but that is important to know for anybody that it's a mental thing. It's a mental twist that we're not even aware. We're unable with our own selves to even realize. Yeah,
like I just trying to think about when I went to, when I finally went to rehab. And I finally ended up getting... like 5 days in, I was like, I'm fucking out of here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to drink, but I'm leaving. I'm not like these people. The ego rebuilds itself so quickly. And you're like, one day you're like, I'm done. I'm willing to do anything. And days later, you're just like...
I know.
I'm good. I'm out. And I was trying to leave, and it was just like...
Or for me,
remember how we were saying the ego rebuilds itself? The
Yeah,
ego gets smashed.
Yeah.
Ego gets totally smashed. A month ago, you're like, dude, I'm smashed. I can't do this. I can't do this. But what happens is it's a body, mind, and spirit. Your body's hit bottom. Like, you're like, oh man, I can't do this to myself. This is crazy. It doesn't work anymore. So your body starts getting better. And your mind starts going, yeah, I got this, man. Because the ego has rebuilt itself. That's the scary, because the ego is going to tell you, not that bad. I'm just saying, it's kind of like a heads up thing that I've seen it. I've been around for 37 years in AA, and I see this is what's happened. Is the ego rebuilds itself, and we end up going back, because if you don't change the man that you are, you're going to go back to the man that you are.
You are the man that you were.
Yeah, because the thing is the man that you are now is you're only a month sober. Like, until you
No, but he's been doing this work for a year.
I totally understand that, but you haven't been addressing the drinking and drugging problem.
That's not true. You're making all these you statements. Stop saying that. It makes I statements.
Okay,
I can talk about myself. You can talk about yourself.
But I just heard your story.
Right.
That sounds a little wild, and I kind of added up. I can count the numbers. You said, hey, at 30, and then it's been 2 years, and I've been on a bender, and a few months. I'm adding the numbers up. Yeah. This is not, you just all of a sudden started drinking.
It's not. How many nights?
And it's a progressive illness.
Like, you got to think about how much wreckage you caused drunk.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
I mean, you can't. That's what she's talking about.
And that's why
she's talking about
So
some
you've
shit
only got 1 month. And God bless you. I'm so happy you've got 1 month. But until you go, dude, I surrender. I can't do this anymore. God, please help me change my character. You're going to be the same character.
Eventually.
I would have to politely disagree with that.
Okay. Well, you have every right to, but I'm just talking from experience, from being in the rooms for so long, and I've seen it. I've seen hundreds. I've buried so many friends that said, I am never getting loaded again. Oh, no way. No, I remember my last drink. Well, you have a disease that settles in your mind that makes you forget your last drink. It makes you forget how bad it was. It makes you forget a lot of stuff because its only job is to go out and seek and destroy. That's why you got to get a power greater than yourself and say, dude, I'm not in charge. I'm going to give it to you. I will do whatever it takes to stay sober. If you want me to go to an AA meeting, fine, I'll go to an AA meeting. If you want me to talk about my shit, fine, I'll do it. But I don't want to be this man anymore. Or I'm going to say, I don't want to be this woman anymore.
Right.
So you're defending your right to not have to surrender. That's what I'm hearing.
And well, you're hearing incorrectly.
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's the story that you're telling yourself. I disagree.
This just became an intervention, people. No, I'm just joking.
I mean,
no.
But it's alcoholism at its finest.
There's also a lot of other people.
There's a lot of wisdom there, so I would listen.
No,
I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying I'm sad because I hear you defending that you got this. That you're not. It's almost like your ego will not surrender.
Right. No, it's the death of the ego that took place for me. Like that's
I can't see that, and I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Well, here's the thing about
it's like almost
the death of the ego. It
rebuilds itself.
It reanimates.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that, and what I've learned in the last year is having the emotional awareness to be able to know when you're in your shit, and then shift in that moment. Like there was this house party I was at with Tim after I came back in the Hollywood Hills, and I'm there with this chick I'm hooking up with, and
that's another thing is like you're distracting yourself with like women.
Well, let me finish the story.
I know, but
without getting interrupted. Once.
Just practice. Practice.
Just turn your mic off.
We're gonna get him to practice to not interrupt.
Dude, you haven't even seen how me and Goodman can go.
Everybody keeps saying this. Stop interrupting him.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to get a fucking sentence off in this room. So anyway, we're at this house party with this chick, and it's with like the Hollywood crew of friends that we have, and this one guy comes in and he's fucking on one. I mean, like he was on like ecstasy and like a whole bunch of other shit. And the girl I'm with, this guy's like playing with her hair, and it's like I'm like, all right, no big deal. I looked at her and like gave it a look like, are you all good? Is this going to be a problem? And she was like, oh, it's fine. He's just high. Don't worry, I got this. Whatever. He starts to become a little bit more aggressive, slowly but surely, and then it got to a point where I went over to him like, bro, can you just like chill out? Like you're getting to be too much right now. And so
that's Goodman's the guy you don't want.
So
telling you to chill.
No, but I did it very politely, and I wasn't a dick about it. But he took it like the wrong way. He got like embarrassed and like thought that I was calling him out. So he starts like talking shit, getting upset, and I'm just like, fuck this. So I walk out back, and I'm on the deck smoking a cigarette, and I hear him yell, I'm going to go get my fucking gun, and I'm going to shoot this guy. And I fucking flick the cigarette. I fucking walk right over to this guy, and Tim was standing across the room, look at me, and his face was like white because he thought I was just going to beat this guy in the fucking pole. And what happened is I went over there, and I gave him a hug. And I was like, bro, chill. It's all good. It's all love. I'm not trying to be a dick to you. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just telling you to calm down. It's my girl. You're just getting a little aggressive, and that's it, man. I don't want a problem. I don't want to have to hurt you. Like doesn't have to be a bad thing.
I love you, but I don't have to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. And he looked at me with like, I had this look on his face like, what the fuck just happened? And we walk outside and talking, and he saw me shift in the moment because I was literally a half a second away from snapping, and then I remembered like that I don't have to be that person. Yeah. I can be a better person. Yeah. And I made a different decision.
I'm just realizing, Hilary, here's the thing about us is we like, I don't know, or I'm just going to speak for myself. Okay. I don't know what you need or what your thing is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here. No, yeah. I'm only here for like love, and you're obviously growing, and your head's in the right place. You're wanting to go down, like you're way more open than you were, and you're God has some plan or journey for you that none of us understand. So we're just here to lead by example.
Yeah.
We're all on our own journey. That's the thing.
Yeah. So, and we can't really, there's nothing that we can say.
No, I pray that you have an open mind. Yeah. Whatever the next indicated step is, that you're not afraid to take it.
I'm not. I agree.
I'm gonna pray for you.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate that.
Because there's power in prayers.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
So you just you're sure he's an alcoholic?
Well, you walk like a duck, you act like a duck, you're probably a duck.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
But that's for you to come to that, that God moment. That's your alone time when you have to. It's admitting to our innermost self. Innermost self
what do you
that
think?
I'm an alcoholic. It doesn't mean it means that your life is going to just exponentially grow.
Yeah, but you just heard his whole story. You know as much as Hilary does.
I just met him and I like him and
cool.
his willingness.
He's so in the middle. I love him. You're so chill. I'm like,
no. But
I
I want
like
to
his
hear
willingness, and I want to hear more from him. And let's just let him enjoy his life and try to help him. And if he drinks again, maybe then we'll revisit that.
Yeah, it may happen. It may happen, but chances are.
Yeah, but see, I think what Hilary's doing is she's just sort of.
Or if he drinks and it's not a problem, well, then it's not a problem.
I'm sharing what I went through because I had trauma like you've had trauma.
Yeah. That's
and
the thing.
trauma is a driver that isn't. It's like a driver with tinted windows. We never really see who's inside, but it's gonna get to its destination, and that's what happened. Is I thought that I wasn't an alcoholic. I thought that I was just from a screwed up home. That's why, I attached, I'm the victim. I'm an abused victim. Mm-hmm. And until I came to that, Pat, that spot of, I have to start owning my life. That stuff happened to me, but what am I going to do with that information?
But I don't think he hasn't.
But I'm
really,
not. He hasn't gotten there. But I'm sharing.
I'm saying he's not even really. Talking about being a victim.
You know what's happened?
Except for with his wife.
His dad. I heard what he said. I identified with that.
Yeah, but that's...
but
Hilary, that's just his story.
Okay, but let's just look at it this way. If you and your wife weren't mad partiers and drinking all the time,
what would your marriage
things would have went different?
I think things would have gone way different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Because there was this month where I was very proactive about being like, hey... we need to chill the fuck out. Right. And we did take a month off of going hard in the paint, Right. And it was a much better month. We were happier. We were spending more time together. Uh-huh. We were going on date nights every week. Mm. And, I think part of it, the problem for me was that I became codependent. For me, I have abandonment issues. Yeah. From when I was a kid. And that's where all of this fear manifested from, right? I'm scared of her abandoning me, and so I'm associating her with my happiness versus focusing on me truly being happy myself.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, here's
to everybody.
Here's one thing I know for sure: you need therapy, ASAP.
He's in it. He just said
I've been doing that. That's
with Steve.
No, I actually plan on going back to him.
The most important thing that you need to do is be seeing. I talked to him today at 5. All you have to do is FaceTime.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So me and Aaron see the same therapist.
Well, it'll be the pressure cooker letting off some steam right now.
Well, but here's the thing about therapy is that's really what saved my life, because I was going to therapy before I got sober. And if I wasn't going to therapy, Steve will just tell you straight up.
Yeah, he is a fucker. Yeah. No.
But what does Steve say?
So I think Steve's also on the fence about it as well.
Oh.
Because I would talk to him about it. And, he I would say I would drink because I was depressed or this and that, but then I wouldn't have a drink for 6 months.
Right.
And it wouldn't be an issue. Or I'd have a glass of wine with dinner, like pairing it with a steak or something like that. I think only have one glass of wine and it'd be fine.
Yeah, I think a lot of your shit is like alcohol is never going to make your life easier.
No.
But he may not be an alcoholic.
Yeah, here's my observation with him. He's holding down a spring.
Yeah,
there's a monster in there. You can just see it in his eyes.
Dude, totally.
It's
okay.
Suck.
We all
No.
It's just
Billy's fucking ill.
Yeah.
Billy, there's a monster inside. There was one, seriously.
Yeah.
So you can see, you can see.
But he's
yourself
also
in him.
got like
you can see yourself in him.
Yeah.
I think
but he's got
it.
like a big heart, and he's like really strong.
That.
He's really driven. He's
He's
gonna
I'm not
like.
saying it is a bad thing. You can just see
Like,
it in your eyes.
yo.
That's all. There's like pain or something in there.
Yeah, like yo, check this out.
What?
So this fool retrieved my drone, like on top of a mountain. He'll just make it happen.
Oh, at the
You know what I'm saying? He has like a will. Then that's kind of a good thing sometimes, but when it comes to surrendering, it's not. But
it's
like,
so hard to
my
surrender.
drone's
I got that
up.
One. I got that one. I'm fierce.
Yeah. You are. But like, so I crashed my drone at Tim's sister's wedding in a fucking mountain that you're not getting up that mountain. It's like a mountain only like a billy goat could get up. You know how they like scale like walls?
Yeah.
And he just went up and got it. It's like Prosser got one of my other, it's alcohol. Like that's the thing. It's like that. You might think that that's like, to me, that's the trait of like an alcoholic. Like we go harder than most. But that doesn't mean you are an alcoholic. That means you share a similar trait. So alcoholics,
we're not all the same.
No,
we're not all the same.
And alcoholics, we just go hard. Like whatever we're doing, like we're doing it. Like I think alcoholics are some of the most successful people in the world.
Huh?
I mean, do I go hard?
Yeah, when it comes to making probiotics and like eating healthy and like looking inwardly and like being extra chill. Like you go so hard in the chill category.
It's so great. You're like, great. I'm not going to talk at all. I'm like, how do you do that?
Oh, wait, what do you mean?
He's not going to talk. We were just having a conversation. Why don't you just practice listening? I'm like, dude, oh my God, I got to pray about that because I want to jump in there and let them know. Like, I want to have a conversation.
No, she's talking about she's going to talk to her husband tomorrow about the 3-week thing. Mm-hmm. And I say it to Pat too, like Veronica loves it when you just listen to her and you give her attention, you actively listen. Everybody loves that. Everybody needs that. And you might hear something besides your own head.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Goodman definitely need to learn about that.
He's like,
no, you talk a lot too.
Yeah.
Me and you talking is like, like even when you first got here, I'm like trying to set up and you're like trying to tell me all this stuff and.
It's been a while, man.
Yeah, I know.
We got some catching up.
I mean, one thing when he called me last night, one thing I did notice was he was like listening. Because remember when you wanted to like help with me and Ridge and stuff?
Yeah.
Like we went and had lunch and he just was telling me, he just wouldn't shut up. He knew how we were going to make the company better and he knows about all the different strategies. And I'm like, dude, you don't know shit about video production.
No, I just know about marketing. And I knew from the beginning that, because like when it comes to this, like you are the product. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. For the business. Like I recognize that. I've always viewed myself as someone who's able to recognize opportunity or value when I see it. You know, you're an interesting motherfucker.
Right.
And that's just extremely entertaining. And I was like thinking like it's just about marketing you.
Is that what you were saying?
That's what I was trying to say. I was talking about different marketing strategies that worked for our company,
but you weren't really saying that.
Yeah, I was. I just wasn't articulating it as well as I should have, I guess.
But how would marketing me get us jobs for like?
It wasn't getting in jobs. It was. It really.
But at that time, that's what it was about.
Right. Well, at the time, I didn't know exactly the route of what to get there was, but I knew that if we were able to effectively market you, the rest would take care of itself. Mm-hmm. That's what I felt deep in my heart.
Really?
I think so.
And that was how many years ago?
What? This is right when we right.
Because that's what effectively has happened.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, that the universe works in weird fucking ways.
So someone just said, "Can this podcast get any realer? Love this. Feels like I'm with family opening up. So dope." So I'm just wondering, Goodman, do you think that what do you think's happening right now with me?
Right now, I think what you're doing with the Learning to Lose podcast is a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. It's the same feeling I got when I went to see the shaman, when I went through gratitude, when I've talked to other people that are seriously depressed, friends of mine that have had suicidal thoughts, and I've talked to them for hours, and it feels good to do good. You know, like you talk about giving back.
Yeah. But what I'm saying though is like, do you realize that did you just say that because that's what's actually happening right now? Is I'm marketing myself, and in turn, that's going to make everything that I touch more successful? Are you just saying that was what you were saying back then?
No, I'm saying
what's happening now.
No, I'm saying I recognize you as the product. I didn't know what the pathway was to getting to where you are now.
But
I just know that I always told you if we just had like a reality TV crew just follow you around,
right?
That like that would be it,
right? Yeah, a lot of people have said that.
Yeah.
It turns out that's a lot harder to do than and it costs a lot more money than. But yeah, it's interesting because once you become like Gary Vee, like if he's not Gary Vee, VaynerMedia is not successful.
Correct.
All his, Joe Rogan, it's like Steve Jobs, Walt did, I'm not saying I'm trying to compare myself to these people, but it really does come down to
sell yourself,
the
and
individual.
then you sell the product.
Well, you know what though? Like there are different examples of where that's not the case, like
technology,
like Nike,
right?
Like who's Nike?
Right.
Air Jordan.
But
when you say
with
Nike,
people.
I think Jordan.
Wow.
But you're
Nike.
dealing with people. You're dealing with people one to one. Of course, if you're not. You're not approachable.
No. But what he's saying is like my company, Ridge Production.
Right.
Like, well, you know what though? That's always what I did. I always was like, I'm going to be fucking loud and crazy, and everyone's going to be watching Ridge because it's crazy. Therefore, when they think of doing a video, they're only going to think of one thing.
He's the entrepreneur. That's
right.
who he is.
But my approach is a little bit different.
It is. I mean, I told you earlier when I was
like
filming. I had to unfollow you on Instagram because like every time I open my phone, you just talking shit. And I'm just like, I can't fucking take this no more.
It's funny because Ryan said the complete opposite. But what I'm saying is like, how would you ever think that filming Goodman doing lines in Mexico would help Ridge Production?
Because it was edgy.
Right.
It was
so
no, but the way you edited it was even better because I was like, I did it and I was like, I don't want your mom seeing this, and then like you immediately cut to the clip where you're like, I can't wait to show my mom this video or some shit.
So I can't. I'm running a production company, right? We're working with big companies like Palms and all the different companies that are with Agenda. You have Nike and all those companies. I mean, we're not like doing Nike commercials, but we're doing recaps of their trade show at Agenda, and we're trying to get in with like big companies. I mean, and I'm over here not posting to my personal page, Aaron doing lines. I'm posting that to Ridge. Like, this is my life. This is Ridge Production. We're crazy, and we're going to make a crazy video of this trip in Mexico. And everyone is like, what do you do? Like, people that I work with, like Tall and Aaron and even Tim. Me and Tim have always... The biggest problem that I've had with my partner is like, you're getting us in trouble from the shit you're posting. Stop. And I'm like, you don't get it. It's that controversy.
Bad press is better than no press.
There is no there is no such thing as bad press.
That's kind of been my whole theory. Right. I think this all kind of started when Trump was elected, and if there's one thing that showed me it was that it doesn't matter who you are, what your message is. Like, you just, if you're loud, you're going to become...
Everything's out in the open. Everything's becoming
But I
out
mean,
in the open right now.
if he can become president, you don't need to have...
I don't completely agree with that. I think you need to have a message or something.
Right.
No, but what?
Well, his message is everything I touch becomes gold, right?
What?
That's his message.
I don't know. Let's not go political, guys.
Okay.
No,
Let's
all I'm
stay
saying,
off
no,
that.
all I'm
Let's
saying is
just-
No,
This
but
is not-
what I'm
let's
saying,
not go
being
there.
edgy is it allows you to stand out from the crowd, because I do the same thing with commercial real
Okay,
estate.
so hold on a second, though. So you're saying you need to have a message? He is our president.
No, we're not going there. We're not going there. But we are not going there. We're staying away from politics. We're
No, but it's
talking
not about politics. It's
But we're
about...
talking about you having you can be crazy and you have a message.
Yeah, that's
But
what...
you're it's like the guy who stands at the big top. Welcome, and he's loud and come on in, come on in here.
But
and
if
he's
there
throwing
was
out
no
tickets.
circus, he would quickly become...
That's what I'm
just-
saying. He's the welcome, and then he's also inside doing all the acts.
choosing to deliver a message, but
Right.
the lesson, I'm just saying that I learned something about our society
Right.
when he became president. I don't want to talk about whether or not any of us agree with anything he's doing. I just want to talk about
the mechanics of how he got
where
there.
we're at as a society and
Right.
why I'm doing all this.
Right.
It's like there's a level
It's
of...
opened up a total new.
But there's a
arena for
level of like
sure.
oversaturation in all markets because of the internet, that the only way to be noticed is if you're just
I heard.
wildly active and posting. Like, you need to be posting 5 videos a day, and you need to be saying things that no one else is going to be saying, which I already know you can do because...
You've heard me.
Yeah, because you're honest, you're real, and you've been to the depths. When you've been to the depths, the darkest places, you kind of lose that. Like, he's here, like, just revealing everything because he's just like,
Fuck it.
I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, no, the I don't give a fuck attitude is like such a necessity for like success and just not being afraid of letting like the bullshit get
I
in your
think
way.
so.
I know so.
It's like I've already failed. Who gives a shit from here?
Like, I've put out, you can't do more than I've done, and it's like I'm still here, and I have more like fans and people that are appreciating me than ever because of that.
I like that. It's like if you,
Right.
well, like if you have fuck you money, you can make more money because you're not worried. Right. And I've been doing that with my clients. Like, just on my, I don't have a big business. I have a small business, but I just, you know what? You pay what I ask and you give it to me, or just go away. I'm not rude. I'm a nice guy and everything, but I just fuck the bullshit. If you don't want to pay
I don't
me,
have time for it.
Yeah.
Well,
Just, if you have an aggressive approach and mindset, it's gonna you won't fail.
but you don't have to be aggressive. You just have to be like confident. Like, this is how it is.
Correct. It's not my job. Like what I tell my clients, it's not my job to tell you what you want to hear. It's my job to tell you the truth.
Okay, so
Right. Yeah, the truth. Here's the truth.
Right.
This is the good work, and this is how much it costs. Now, if you want some shit work or something,
It's exactly my approach I take with my clients. It's more about like I'm the standard like cookie cutter bullshit salesman is like that type of mindset is just not for me. You know, the last thing I want is to live a normal life.
Yeah. But you did, though.
it doesn't sound
I
normal.
don't think that in my story.
I don't know.
That's normal.
I guess it's normal
That's fucked up.
today.
I'm saying when you were like, let's get sober.
It's not
oh,
normal
let's
for
have kids and have a
1950.
nice house.
Right,
and,
but correct.
but now you're kind of like, I don't think that you had what you, I don't know if you would have been able to get this raw and honest 2 years ago. Or maybe you would.
I don't know.
Maybe you would.
I don't have a crystal ball.
No, I'm saying 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You don't need a crystal
knows?
ball. You just need to tell me how
He's
you were
where he's
2
at
years
today.
ago.
because
I
that's how
think,
got here.
yeah, whatever happens in life is what's preparing you for what's coming next.
No. 2 years ago, were you like willing to be open and honest like the way you are right now?
Yeah.
Oh, you were? Yeah, I feel like you...
I've always had
Yeah.
conversations with you
Yeah.
and Tim about shit about life
Yeah.
that
And
other
you've
people
never-
are uncomfortable talking about.
Yeah, like Goodman's never been the guy that's like, don't film me. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Neither does my brother. You know, neither is Tim or Jason or, you know what, this is new thing. We're going to wrap up here because we're over 2 hours, but there's this new thing I've been playing with about like filming, about like putting a camera on someone, like it exposes their true self. It's weird. No, like when you go like, what's up?
Yeah, people are scared.
Someone,
people are scared to be seen.
And if they're like tripping, like don't film me, they have to work something out. Because all it is the potential for other people to see you. What are you hiding? I don't know. I have this new thing about, and there's this whole movement happening right now.
What are you hiding, or what are you scared of?
You're insecure. You're scared of people seeing what you think about yourself.
Exactly.
That's what you're scared of.
It exposes things that need to be. So there's this movement happening on YouTube right now where people are going in there like they're walking into like the DMV or any kind of government-owned building, and they're doing like audits. They're filming. Yeah, no, we're done. We're done.
Yeah.
They're filming people, and the people are like, you can't film. And they're like, actually, it's my First Amendment right. I'm doing an audit on the DMV to make sure everyone's doing their job properly. It's like amazing what's happening on YouTube. And you see like evil in certain people.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
But thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks. It's time for us to go pee.
Yeah, check out Hilary on TikTok. Do you know your name yet? Or?
Yeah, yeah, I think. You guys, I'm just starting this, okay?
All right, guys.
It's on it, right?
Yeah, whatever. All right, guys. Yo. You guys are fucking amazing for staying here with us.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
So did you guys enjoy that? Or how many of you know what? I kind of want to know if how many of you were here from the beginning of the podcast? That'd be really fucking cool to know.
It's hard, a little bit.
No. I mean, it's fine. You can take it. You're fine. I think that was amazing. You're being honest. We just did an hour-long podcast.
That's awesome.
What do you mean, when will I get an OnlyFans? I already have one. That's mean to end
Are you filming still? No.
Oh yeah, but I'm just live.
Oh, cool.
We're live. I mean, there's 100 people here. I want to just.
Yeah, because everybody's on different time zones and stuff.
But like, do you realize?